Tonight on Joy News Prime, a year after Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia inaugurated a 56.4 kilometer, $45 million Sino-Hydro Corporation, the road project portions of the road in KJB has deteriorated.
The cars are suffering a lot because you can see some load over there. A car will just come, cannot cross, and they will decide to reduce the load before the car will move.
And tonight, the minority in Parliament fight EC's decision to ditch the use of indelible ink for public election, arguing it is in the breach of the Constitution.
The use of indelible ink is part of the regulations that we put in the instrument for the effective performance of the Electoral Commissioner. So you cannot decide that you will not apply it.
And Ghana Revenue Authority wades into SML's 3 billion cedis annual revenue savings claims and defends the company's operations. Now, amidst contradictions between the MD and head of IT on this claim, the question arises, who should we believe?
With the tax component that we are not even using the 1.74, we are using the old tax component, which is 1.44. That will arrive at the 3 billion that we talked about.
That's that 3 billion, I'm not. That's what I told you from the beginning. I said I don't know about this 3 billion.
There's more as the GRA reveals the Finance Ministry has directed for the existing contract of SML to be extended to the petroleum upstream and mining sector. Thank you so much for joining us here on Joy News Prime. Now, it's been a year since Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia inaugurated the 56.4 kilometer, $45 million Sino-Hydro Corporation road project. But that project has shown its second defect, with portions of the stretch, especially the Papasi Junction KJB, being a threat to users. Now, commuters want that portion fixed to avert any calamities. Correspondent Peter Seno visited the area and has more in this report.
Just about a year ago, similar developments popped up at Kokrantumi, also on the stretch. It got resolved with pavement blocks after joiners reported on it. This is Papasi Junction. The asphalted road, inaugurated on the 8th of September 2022, has shown its second ugly spot. Here, you see a protruding asphalted road giving way to forces beneath it. Drivers are compelled to move to the shoulders of the road upon reaching this spot. This means there is no walkway for pedestrians anytime there is this coincidental meeting. First-time road users have had to scratch the bellies of their vehicles on it. This has not resulted in any major accident yet, but is a potential accident trigger even as authorities try to reduce the carnage on the roads. Residents and drivers argue this could be as a result of poor job done on this area, as the previous construction had concrete blocks laid to ensure the road is safe for its users. They have been sharing their views on this development and the quality of work done.
As you can see, the cars are suffering a lot because you can see some load over there. A car will just come, cannot cross, and they will decide to reduce the load before the car will move and they will put it back. So it's a worry. It's a worry. And this road is not even up to 2 years, and these things are happening. So we are pleading with the government to see to it that the contractor will come back on the site to fix it.
And the contractor should come back and repair it again. The contractor should come back and do it for us again. Otherwise, the lifespan will be very short, which will be a problem for the government.
Oh yes, it's as a result of a shoddy work being done here. Because this road was constructed before, I could say during President Kufuor's time. And this place was constructed with tiles nicely, and nothing happened here. But this time around, I think it's as a result of a shoddy work being done here.
The 56.4 kilometer, $45 million project is just a year old after its inauguration. Peter Sanu for Joy News.
Now, for the past 3 weeks, anxiety has gripped commuters and pedestrians navigating the East Legon Underbridge road. Now, the source of their concern is a damaged height limit pole that has dislodged from its initial placement, now posing a threat on the main road. Faced with risky situation, drivers find themselves having to navigate cautiously around the obstruction to prevent possible collision. Now, Kwesi Adai-Kwarten has compiled this report read to you.
This is East Legon Underbridge, a bustling access linking East Legon, Spintex and nearby communities. Drivers crossing this area are compelled to employ inventive maneuvers to avoid colliding with the dangerous height limit indicator pole that has shifted from its original position, posing a potential hazard to unsuspecting motorists and pedestrians. An anonymous vendor revealed to us that the height limit indicator pole was reportedly damaged weeks ago by a towing vehicle.
It has happened about 3 weeks ago, and up to date, nobody comes to check even either to work it out, or nobody comes, actually, nobody comes. It was a tow car that came to hit it, and then it caused like this.
Some motorists who spoke to us shared their concerns about the unstable nature of the pole. They fear that it's only a matter of time before the weakened structure gives way, potentially leading to an incident if no action is taken.
We are afraid it's very dangerous because it's broken and it needs to be fixed. Because the cars are passing under it. You don't know what may happen. Air can blow and then it can fall on any car and it can cause dangerous accident again. So the authorities have to come in and check it for us because it's very dangerous to us.
It's really posing danger to the traffic and to passengers around this area. It's very dangerous to us. So please, could you please take the immediate action for us to be safe? Safety is better. As a citizen of Ghana, we have been in the country for years. There are certain things which we need to be corrected. So these are one of the things.
Obviously, it's dangerous. Obviously. So, I mean, those in charge should come and look at it and fix it as quickly as possible. Because the concern is if the other side also gets in, it will cause serious problems for commuters.
Here is main road, and we can't allow this pillar to be on the road. How? Because there's the mountain is there, so they have to go there and then mount it at the right place. So I don't know. Ghana leaders, I don't know.
Kwesi Adai-Kwarten's report read to you.
Now, away from the story, let's take you to Parliament, where the minority in Parliament said the Electoral Commission is acting in breach of the Constitution with its decision to ditch the use of indelible ink for public election. Now, the EC announced this policy shift starting from district-level election. Debating the budget estimate for the EC, Deputy Minority Whip Ahmed Ibrahim and MP for South Dai, Roxanne Nelson Dafa-Makpo, argued that the decision does not lead to the effective performance of the Electoral Commission and sins against the Constitution and the constitutional instrument.
The issue of the non-use of the indelible ink breaches the law. Mr. Speaker, let me refer the House to Article 51 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, with your leave, let me read. The Electoral Commission shall, by constitutional instrument, make regulations for the effective performance. Mr. Speaker, the controlling phrase there is for the effective performance of its functions under the Constitution or any other law, and in particular for the registration of voters, the conduct of public elections and referenda, including provision for voting by proxy. So, Mr. Speaker, you cannot come to Parliament with an instrument where protocols have been clearly outlined in the instrument, and you, by an administrative fiat, decide that you will go according to the protocol. Mr. Speaker, the use of indelible ink It's part of the regulations that we put in the instrument for the effective performance of the Electoral Commissioner. So you cannot decide that you will not apply it. Mr. Speaker, it is for good reasons that we use, for instance, transparent ballot boxes. So can she wake up tomorrow and say that by an administrative fiat, I will no longer apply transparent ballot boxes? So she must do things that will make her perform effectively.
We are here fighting Electoral Commission that why are you discontinuing the use of indelible ink? But you were here, you came to pass a law. The chairman of the committee, the majority leader himself, he laid it and passed it and said the Electoral Commission should use indelible ink. Meanwhile, you passed the law that you shouldn't use it. So, Mr. Speaker, you see where we found ourselves. So when you are coming to lay a regulation or a constitutional instrument and we are making a good case, listen to us. Listen to us. Mr. Speaker, even the constitutional instrument to make disenfranchise those who don't have the Ghana card. Mr. Speaker, that Electoral Commission is independent. She looked into our face and said, I'm bringing it back. That in 2024, she's bringing it back. And that she knows that Ghanaians who do not have the Ghana card is by choice.
Now, the tussle between the Fourth Estate and the Strategic Mobilization Limited has deepened as the Ghana Revenue Authority Customs Division has waded into the controversy. Now, the GRA is dismissing claims that the company's operations have not yielded the revenue of over 3 billion cedis accrued annually. Now, a documentary titled The 3 Billion Cedi Lie by the Fourth Estate alleges a $100 million annual contract awarded to SML by the Finance Ministry for monitoring the petroleum industry, which is not all in duplication, but does not contribute revenue saving. Now, SML denies the accuracy of this information, and the documentary asserting it has not yet operationalized the contract, while GRA is standing firm with its service provider SML. I have my colleague Samuel Mbura join us via Zoom with more on this particular story. Mbura, break this down for us. What is the background of this contract with SML and as indicated by the GRA? Hello, Samuel? Hello, Samuel, kindly unmute your device so we can hear you.
Yeah, I've just unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right. So the GRA has affirmed that together with the Finance Ministry, it has signed a consolidated contract with SML to monitor and audit. So the contract is in three folds. One has to do with the monitoring and auditing of the downstream petroleum sector, and that one began in 2019. So what it means is that the lifting, the loading, and the transportation, they are responsible for the monitoring and auditing of such products. The second one has to do with upstream petroleum production, which is supposed to begin in 2023. So the contract, according to GRA, is 5 years, not 10 years, as reported by the Fourth Estate. And the GRA is arguing that this was agreed upon based on the performance of SML in monitoring the downstream petroleum sector and the provision of instant reconciliation of real-time data in the sector.
All right, Samuel, the GRA has also been assessing the performance of this company. Tell us more about this particular exercise.
Well, GRA is saying that for the engagement, or prior to the engagement with SML, GRA operated a manual system for the measurement of fuels at the depots across the country. So what it means is that they use the deep sticks. They put the sticks inside the tanks as measurement, but they saw that as a cake, and that actually posed a risk to officers who had to climb ladders to measure the fuel in the tankers. GRA is also arguing that it was inefficient and prone to revenue leakages. So currently, oil deposited by the bulk oil distribution companies in the depots is measured by SML with the aid of sensors installed on the depots. So these sensors are what we call the red flow meters. So during offloading from the depots, SML again measures all the various liftings of the oil marketing companies, what we call the OMCs. So it is on that note that they also perform, assess the job done by SML, and all these pieces of information, according to GRA, are captured and reconciled with data from the ICOMS. So the ICOMS is a common platform that they all monitor with the GRA. So this is done with the GRA petroleum units. So if there are discrepancies, customs will inform the OMC to enter a post-entry to correct the differences. So that is a strong argument that GRA is making to support its clients so far as service delivery of measurement is concerned. The point 3 talks about SML in the petroleum sector also provides additional data independent of the customs ICOMS data capable of validating anomalies in quantities imported, discharged, and accounted for by way of taxes. The 4 points the GRA is using to defend SML is that the revenue assurance exercise undertaken by EY Ghana and later by the Revenue Assurance and Compliance Enforcement of the Ministry of Finance confirmed systematic deficiencies in the accounting and collection of petroleum taxes between 2015 and 2020. So that was the reason they brought them in. So point 5 of the assessment of SML is what corroborates the current tussle that their operations have contributed to 3 billion, sometimes in excess as well. So GRA is arguing that after SML came on board, the average 350 million liters per month in 2018 and 2019 shot up to 450 million liters per month from 2020 to 2021. And this represents the over 33%, accounting for the 3 billion savings that they are currently claiming they have made.
All right, so clearly we have some contradictions there. So who do we believe now? Let's now look at the contradictions that have embroiled the company. First, the MD admitted in a documentary that the company does not know about this 3 billion cedis revenue savings.
The Fourth Estate also confronted the managing director of SML with the figures the company churned out as savings it made because of its operations. First was the claim in April 2021 that SML saved the state 1 billion Ghana cedis due to its operations.
If you use the 2019 as a base,
yes, yes,
subtract this one, you will get 1 billion for 2020.
It's 800 million.
Okay, about 800 million. Okay.
Yes. The company started operations in 2020. From the revenue figures we obtained from the GRA, the difference in the total revenue from the downstream petroleum sector between 2019 and 2020 is 800 million cedis. If all the increment was attributed to the work of the company, it will still fall short of the 1 billion cedis it claimed to have saved. In February 2023, SML Ghana Limited again claimed that it had saved 3 billion cedis due to its operations. The company has admitted the services it listed on its website as curtailing irregularities in the sector did not exist and deleted them from the website. Even if SML was carrying out those services and all the incremental revenue within the period of its operations was credited to the company's efforts, the amount would be 2.4 billion cedis and not 3 billion cedis as it claimed to have saved. When we put these figures to the managing director, he made a shocking admission.
That's why that 3 billion, I'm not. That's why I told you from the beginning. I said I don't know about this 3 billion.
We cannot say your intervention saved 3 billion.
No, I said 3 billion. I'm not. I've told you that I'm not aware, because when we were told about the publication, we even called the.
As we speak this morning, still on your website.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In fact, to be honest, I don't even know website matter.
But his head of IT, Prince Sapon, yesterday said otherwise. We can listen to him.
So in estimate, what actually happened with the 3 billion is, as I talked about, the money is all about the volumes. So if there's an increase in volume, there's an increase in revenue. And since SML started operation, we can confidently say that there has been an average monthly increase of 100 million liters. So if you multiply it by 24 months, with the tax component that we are not even using the 1.74, we are using the old tax component, which is 1.44, that will arrive at the 3 billion that we talked about.
Now, Mbura, you've secured a recording from the Fourth Estate with this same IT head at SML. That's Prince Sapon. What is contained in that particular audio?
Well, Paloni, interestingly, this same Prince Sapon was captured by the cameras of the Fourth Estate at the time they were conducting the investigations, dismissing claims that the company had reported that they saved the GRA 3 billion Ghana cedis. We can listen to him.
It's that publication that came out. It was not really the reporter that said
then when we protested that they should
protested. So if you look at that publication, it was just consultation between SML and GRA.
Yes, there was no
and we're doing a presentation. So let me we are doing a presentation, we're talking about accuracy. In that report, we never said that we are giving accurate revenue estimates. The whole report, if you look at it, was a consultation, it was a collaboration between GRA board when they came to our outfit and SML. So in that presentation, journalists were here, I did the presentation. So in that presentation, I was giving them expected revenue. That was what I was giving them. It was expected revenue. That is what the last presentation I did per our audit system. Our system can generate expected revenue. So what we did was not even the accurate figure. We never talked about accuracy because we are not GRA. Only GRA can give you accurate figure. So when we are talking about this, it depends on how it was reported. So it didn't. No one actually said that we actually generated as like accurate. Yes. So there's the caption by a journalist.
The problem here is that the journalist made a mistake. It is also on your website even this morning as we speak. And this has been there since February. So if a journalist does a mistake and they report something I did not say, and I go to put that same thing on my website.
But please, after that's the caption, have you read the story?
Yes.
And what?
Now, we now know that the GRA has confirmed the Ministry of Finance has directed for the extension of the contract to other areas. What are their reasons? I've been joined on Zoom by Manasi Azuri. So, Manasi, what do you make of the GRA's position on this matter as it's emerging?
Well, it sounds very strange because that morning, when the managing director of SML and the head of IT, who is now singing from a totally different hymn book, made these claims, we had officials of the petroleum sector of the GRA in that room. And they also said they were surprised when they saw the publication because it could not be accurate. Anybody listening or watching us can speak to any player in the industry. The simple question perhaps we need to ask the GRA is, you claim that you brought these people to give you the right measurement. But in that documentary, you will hear the GRA officials saying that they do not use the figures churned out or recorded by SML to do tax calculation. We asked SML, we asked GRA, and they told us that their meters are non-contact meters. The meters at the loading gantries are more accurate than the meters by SML. SML has never detected any issue of underreporting. There was underreporting, there was a diversion, there was dilution. Companies were brought in to seal these loopholes. SML only claimed on its website that it was doing these functions. When we confronted SML with evidence, they actually said, no, we are not performing them, and they deleted them from their website. The GRA told us that their icon is connected not to SML database, but the ERGMS operated by the National Petroleum Authority. So it sounds very strange that with all this information and with the company itself saying we lied or what we published is not true, we have the GRA coming out to back this same company that put the information out and said, look, what we have is not true. We also got details from the GRA, that's petroleum revenue figures from 2012 to 2022. And the figures kept growing even before SML came in. So the ordinary person in the street would know that the number of people using cars or fuel and consumption grows from time to time. So you don't expect those figures to be static. So it is very strange that the GRA is now supporting what this company cannot even stand by. But it is understandable because there has to be a justification to give it a contract that is making it to earn $100 million a year. Remember, they have not disputed that contract. They are only saying that it is 5 years and not 10 years. But the fact still remains that they are going to be making $0.75 per barrel of oil produced. The GRA statement talks about the fact that SML is going to be paid based on value addition. The contract doesn't say that.
All right.
The contract says production.
Okay.
So once Talo produces, ENI produces, they are making revenue. When the gold mining companies produce, they make revenue. And that is the same arrangement in the downstream sector, that any liter of petroleum product that is lifted, they make a revenue of 5 pesos. And that's what accounts for the about 24 million cedis every single month. We ask them,
all right,
what have you done to add to the petroleum increment? Have you added to the volumes? They say, no, we only measure what is lifted. So if we import more cars this year than last year, for instance, GRA says it is because of that company.
Okay, so Manasi, it appears that the contradictions from what the GRA is saying in trying to support SML has been established at this point. We will still delve into this matter going forward. But I have been joined also by Edward Bauer. He's the member of the Energy and Mines Committee in Parliament. You are in Parliament. What do you make of the GRA's position on this particular matter? The fact that the company itself is running away from this amount, but the GRA is actually defending that. What do you make of that?
Yeah, thank you very much. Good evening. First of all, let me just state clearly. This is daylight robbery. It's thievery, plain and simple. And I'll explain to you why. After reading what GRA issued in terms of the statement and what SML has been doing,
right,
it is the same thing NPA has been doing. Now, NPA has 3 different systems. They have what they call the the Enterprise Relational Database Management System, the ERDMS. This is a system, that's the first system. This is a system where all the BDCs, before they even place, when they place an order for a product from outside, it is keyed into this particular system.
Okay.
Now, when the products come and they go into their storage tanks, it reflects, the quantity is reflected on this system. So from beginning, when the product is in the storage tanks of the, or maybe the tank farms of these particular BDCs, the quantities are known. Okay. Now, if an OMC negotiates with BDCs and says that we want to buy X quantity, that is keyed into the system. So the system will reflect the quantity that the OMC is taking. It will reflect the price. It will reflect the destination. It will even reflect the trucks and the numbers of the trucks that are going to move the product. So at this particular point, because you have quantity, you have price, and you have everything, tax liability is established. That's the first thing.
All right.
Now, when the vehicles move, the vehicles are also then monitored by another system known as what do you call it? It is called ECTS. And the ECTS basically is what they call electronic cargo tracking system. And that one, what they do is that the vehicle, the truck that takes the product, everywhere the truck is, if you go to what they call MPA, just on the screen, you will see the position of every truck. Now, even the seal of the tankers, if it is tampered with before it gets to where it is supposed to go in terms of its what they call it, destination, it is recorded on the system and they are able to notice that it has been tampered with. So, for example, if a product is meant to go to Hamele from Accra Depot, and then around Kumasi, the driver decides that he wants to offload part of the products there. Because the seal is tempered and it will be tempered in Kumasi, it will reflect on their screen and they will know that they are trying to do that.
So Mr. Bauer, is that to say that we already had that system in place prior to the coming of SML?
In fact, a more efficient system that tells you clearly how to they guarantee revenue assurance. So from what they call it, the tank farms by the BDCs. And remember that GRA, and this is the point I'm trying to make. If you see, when the OMC takes the product from the bulk distribution companies, that the BDCs, because this particular what do you call it, enterprise relational database management system, it is connected to the integrated customs management system, that is the ICOMS. And so whatever MPA is seeing on their database, GRA is seeing that also on the platform of the ICOMS.
Okay.
So they know the quantities and therefore can tax. So if you read what actually SML is supposed to be doing, they are doing exactly what MPA is doing. And this is a system that we have spent millions to put in place just to ensure that we can guarantee, one, that all taxes on petroleum products are paid. Two, that the right quantities are declared. Three, that we have the right quality, because sometimes you have adulteration. And four, to also ensure, particularly at the fuel stations, the fuel pumps, the fuel stations we go to buy,
right.
There are tanks that they have. They are able to sit at MPA and know the quantity of fuel that we have in Ghana just by a press of button. So I am just trying to make the point that this, what SML has been contracted to do, MPA is doing that with GRA. Okay. Using the interconnectivity.
So it appears more like a duplication of roles, right?
It's a duplication. It is still.
So you sit on the Energy and Mines Committee in Parliament, looking at this particular issue as you've explained. What are you going to do as a member of that committee, or what is the committee going to do about this particular revelation?
Thanks be to God. Today, I made an application to the chairman of the Mines and Energy Committee that we needed to invite SML and MPA to meet the committee. The chairman has graciously agreed. And so I believe that the clerks will be instructed to invite these people for us to know exactly what role they are playing. And if really the Ghanaian is being shortchanged, people must be punished for this.
All right.
This is thievery. This is thievery.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Edward Bauer is a member of the Energy and Mines Committee in Parliament. And you're still watching Joy News Prime with me, Carlos Caloni. We'll take a short break. We'll return with more. Please stay. Welcome back. Now, while the district level elections concluded approximately 24 hours ago, significant concerns persist regarding the Electoral Commission's handling of the elections, that happened yesterday. Issues such as low turnout, the decision not to use the indelible ink, and the limited participation of women are still prevalent. Now, some political observers are now expressing apprehension about the Electoral Commission's readiness for the 2024 elections based on the events of the just ended district level elections. Now, the question is, are these concerns justified or they are unfounded? Joining me on Zoom this evening for more on this particular issue is Gilfred Isiama. He's a research fellow at the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, CODIO Secretariat. Now, Isiama, a lot of concerns have been raised by many about the conduct of the just ended district level elections. I want to find out, first of all, What are some of the biggest challenges faced by the Electoral Commission as far as the election is concerned?
Well, so as you rightly indicated, Kodio deployed 420 observers to about 55 districts across the 16 regions. And the observers actually indicated in some of the areas that they went that the polls never opened. So you had people going to the polling stations preparing to cast their vote, only to be told at a later point in the process that voting was not taking place. So clearly, that was a big challenge that the Electoral Commission and people who were also prepared to vote actually faced. This happened in many areas. So the challenge is how the Electoral Commission anticipates challenges that they are about to face or they think they will face and communicate same to stakeholders and even the general public. So that is one big, I think, challenge that the Electoral Commission faced in this election.
All right,
again, significant number of people also indicated that across the various polling stations, polls did not begin early. By 7 a.m., polls should begin. But in the significant minority of the areas, poll begins after 7:16, some between 8:16 to 10. So I think that is one challenge that the organization of the district level election also faced this time around.
All right. So, what lessons are we picking from this, incident, especially going into the 2024 election, so we're able to avert the reoccurrence of it?
Well, I think issues about reform, whether administrative whatsoever, should be taken seriously by the Electoral Commission and make sure that they agree with all election stakeholders and the public before they go about implementing these reforms. Standard practice, very well accepted, that people go to cast their votes and they apply indelible inks. This case, the Electoral Commission found it unnecessary. But this is something that people have bought into, and it is part of enriching the credibility of the process. It's not only about how the Electoral Commission functions and as whether they function effectively. It's about perception of the people, the integrity of the process, which goes beyond just the functionality. So it's one key issue that the Electoral Commission must ensure that we don't repeat any of these surprises in any major election because it can cause greater confusion.
All right.
So communication is part, consensus building is also part, and they should make sure that preparations are made early and planning also goes effectively to avoid any of these challenges that we saw in the district level election.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Asamoah, for speaking to us here on Joy News Prime. Away from that story, judicial corruption, legal aid, and alleged packing of the Supreme Court are some of the themes that featured heavily in today's appointment committee's hearing to vet 3 nominees of President Akufo-Addo to the Supreme Court. Not just this, how well do judges know about the concept of a Generation Z, and a debate of which law school year group is the best also featured prominently. Now, Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante has a wrap of the hearing.
It's been a long day of hearings for Parliament's Appointments Committee as they vetted 3 nominees of President Akufo-Addo to the Supreme Court. That will bring the nominations of this president to 18 since he assumed office in 2017. Let's start from Justice Anthony Henry Kofi, who's been responding to claims that President Akufo-Addo has packed the courts.
I don't think 15 is a high number. The honorable member has actually set out some of the jurisdictions of the Supreme Court. Very wide jurisdiction. Sometimes people just say, oh, even the US, they have 9. Why do we have 12? Why do we have 15 and 16? We compare different things from different environments, different systems.
Justice Kofi has also been speaking about punishment for illegal miners.
The accused persons are found for the judiciary to impose harsh sentences. That one I agree with you entirely. Because of the environmental hazards, the damage, the destruction that are being caused to our environment, to our river bodies.
But do MPs and this nominee know about the concept of Gen Z?
Now, following from my seniors' question on society evolving. Are you familiar with the Gen Z? The what? Exactly. That was the point of my question. Gen Z. I can't get the pronunciation correct. Gen Z. No, I don't know what.
The next person to have been vetted by the appointments committee was Justice Yao Asaridako, who has been talking about the perception that the judiciary is corrupt. He says that is just mere perception and not reality.
The perception appears to be fueled by a number of factors. And some of the factors appear to be the fact that a lot of people don't understand the way the law works. That is the simple truth.
At this hearing, Gavins Kwame Agboja, the minority chief whip, took on the Supreme Court for its ruling in the birth certificate case.
I find it difficult to understand why anybody should question, unless you are saying that births and deaths are not fit for purpose. And I'm happy you said passport, but I know you need a birth certificate to get a passport. And if you were to use the birth certificate to get a passport, what else would you have used to prove that you are Ghanaian, which I believe?
But even before MPs will end the questioning of Justice Yao Asaridako, two MPs slug it out in terms of which of their year groups is the best.
The class of 88. I challenge any other law class. I am saying without fear of contradiction that we are the best class ever in the law school.
My honorable colleague, Honorable Joe Gatti, claims that he had two of his colleagues in the Supreme Court and two Attorney Generals. 1978 call. I'm 45 years at the bar. He's 35. I'm 10 years ahead of him. And we have a record.
The last of the three to have been vetted today was Justice Richard J. Frimpong, and he told the committee about the low funding for legal aid.
Assessing justice is expensive these days. And I think that is where we need to look at other areas where those who cannot afford can go and then seek some assistance. And therefore, the Legal Aid Commission becomes a department or an institution of some importance.
He also spoke about how to decongest prisons.
There is a huge congestion in the prisons. I'm told that these days you can't even classify prisoners. So hardened prisoners or criminals are lumped together with those who have committed lesser offenses. And therefore, something ought to be done about it.
From all indication, these three nominees will get the nod of the committee to go into the Supreme Court by consensus, because no MP from both sides of the House on that committee raised any significant issue that will lead to these MPs being disqualified or having some challenge in terms of the floor vote. But of course, we would wait for this committee's report to come to the floor. With Parliament expected to go on break on the 22nd of December, the expectation is that this report will come before Friday and a vote will happen, so that these justices will be sworn in by the President before MPs rise for the Christmas break. Reporting for Joy News, Kweku Asante, Parliament House.
Welcome back. JQ is in studio with Showbiz. What do you have? Tell us.
Hi, Carlos. So today we started with Black Sharif. Now, Black Sharif risks losing his support base in the Nigerian music market following his support for the hashtag Play Ghana initiative. Nigerian media personality Adesopi revealed in an interview on Hit FM that some bloggers in his home country are unhappy about the young rap artist's support for the initiative that aimed at the consistent promotion of Ghanaian music throughout the country.
It doesn't just apply to the music.
The hashtag Play Ghana initiative launched last week is receiving backlash from our neighbors in Nigeria. Why? This comes after several artists including Black Sharif, Samini, Reggie Rockstone, DJ Mensa and Small God at a press conference to adore the initiative emphasized the crucial need to elevate Ghanaian music, emphasizing that the prevalent dominance of foreign music has hindered the industry's growth. According to Nigerian media personality Adesopi, Black Sharif risks losing his support base in the Nigerian music market following his support for the hashtag Play Ghana initiative.
The movement right now is that they want to block Black Sheriff. That's the social movement, social media movement. But it's impossible. But the bloggers that try to insinuate, and there is no better agenda than to create something that didn't exist. That image that we spoke about, Reggie Rockstone and OG, Samini and OG, Small God and OG, these are OGs that we're talking.
DJ Mensa was also
Mensa
there.
Standing right next to them, right. It's an OG representing Sako there, and then you have a young artist in Black Sheriff there. Who do you think haters and bloggers will want to pick? Do you think they will attack Small God, or they will talk to Reggie Rockstone? Do you think you can say anything to somebody like that, or Samini? No, they're going to go for the baby who really has just started his career. He's just building relationships. And they can tell that he's still, wet behind the ears. Let's target this one.
Adesopi, however, defended the call for prioritizing Ghanaian music, especially during holidays when diasporans flock to the country.
That when we come home in December, it is not only to come and meet our families and enjoy parties. For people like us that are dedicated to promoting the culture, the first thing I want to do is listen to what everybody's listening to. When you were playing music earlier, what did I do to the DJ?
Yeah, you were jamming.
And let me now show you exactly what I'm doing. See, I've already written it down.
Right, Kofi Kinata overthinking. That's right.
That is what I do anywhere I go. That's the first thing. I tell the driver, please play me the local radio. I want to hear what the people are listening to. If I'm a Pan-Africanist,
Well, indeed, visitors take home what they hear. Now, award-winning rapper Sarkodie has been holding an exhibition in collaboration with Eagle Plug. The exhibition is aimed at enlightening the general public about the musical journey of Sarkodie. This exhibition also celebrates and protects the rapper's legacy spanning nearly 2 decades in the Ghanaian music industry. My colleague Doreen Avio was there.
Because of that, we had a lot of memorable moments. He didn't, his attitude towards branding and taking his brand didn't just start now. You can see that some of these pictures are so old.
So old.
So old. And some of them are so old.
So old.
But he's kept most of them. He's very sentimental. So this desk actually is everything of his memorable moments. So you see, let me make you laugh. Look at the difference. Where is it? Look at the difference.
That's the grinder.
Well, yeah, you need to pass through the Sarkodie's Rapperholic exhibition. Now, Efua Asante Aduonum, the young Ghanaian lady attempting to break the world record for the longest singing marathon, has pleaded with ECG not to cut the power during her attempt.
About the fulfillment at the end of the day, being able to move out of my comfort zone to attempt this record.
Ghanaian woman Efua Asante Aduonum, who was attempting to break the longest singing marathon, is calling on the Electricity Company of Ghana not to turn off the power during her singathon. She was speaking at a press conference in Accra.
Please, ECG, really, during this period, please spare me. Let's pile it up for maybe second week in January. Yeah, so please, I'm pleading, ECG, from 23rd all the way to end of December, because we don't know when we are stopping this. We could get carried away. Please hold the power for us. Through your question, I'm pleading to ECG, please.
The CEO of the Ghana Tourism Authority, Akwasi Agyeman, has revealed that Efua's win is a win for all and is calling on support from all Ghanaians.
What will be a world record? And for us at GTA, anything that puts Ghana on the map positively, something that we promote. We know the power of media, we know the power of talent, and the power of creativity. About 70 to 80% of the work that we do revolves around creativity. Working with musicians, working with talent, filmmakers, everybody within the creative economy. And so when we heard of this attempt, As a matter of fact, when I had a number of hours, I tried to sing for 45 minutes to see. 45 minutes. And I didn't last 20 minutes. So it's an arduous task, but I believe that it's a task that needs support. We'll bring bananas, we'll bring everything that she needs, but I believe that at the end of the day, what she's doing is also a clarion call to all of us.
The first Santua Singathon, which is happening on 24th December, will be live streamed on all of Joy Prime social media platforms. For Joy News, I am Jacqueline Suma Yabor.
Well, thank you so much. And that's all we have in this hour. My name is Carlos Keloni. Thank you so much for watching. You can log on to myjoyonline.com.